Oh, yeah. Take a deep, deep hit. And remember this. But we today have a lot of stuff on our hearts and minds, all of us in the world, the Grateful Dead and everything around it. What a beautiful thing it is, you know. And so here we are with our hearts on our sleeves for our friends. This is Bill's family right here, and that's me with them at the last shows we had in San Francisco at Pac Bell, or whatever you call it now, you know. And so there's Bill and his wife, Lori, wonderful woman, love him so much. And two of his boys, he had four, but Luke on with the white shirt there. And I believe that's Tuffy, the other one. I don't want to say the wrong name because they're all such great guys, man. But the other two boys weren't there, but they love Bill so much, you know, and the messages they sent back and forth to me. I got them, guys, and the love between me and Bill and us was all so heavy, and always a beautiful thing. What a smiling guy, you know, with a beautiful love, smiling. There's me and him and Mountain Girl at that show a little later, but he was moving slow, and I knew right away, you know, that there was things wrong, but he didn't talk about it. He never complained. He had a great tolerance for pain, of course, as a man who played sports all his whole life. So we will not dwell. We move on now, and always remember that his heart and soul is with us, as we know. Now, where I've been up top at the Venetian, where I do the radio tomorrow at 2, I'll be doing that show. And before that, come all the people coming up there to see Big Steve. And we have this amazing thing. And I tell as much as I can, I try to relay to the band guys, Bobby and everybody, and have people on there that are relevant to all of our lives. And when you see people like this right here, these are amazing. Everybody's story is so beautiful, you know. And I even put on tie-dyes. I hadn't worn them for many years for many different reasons. We had to be ripping them up all the time when we climbed and worked. So Jerry one day said, let's you know, he was wearing a black T-shirt, and I said, yeah, we always wore black T-shirts as kids, you know, because that was what tough guys wore. But anyway, Jerry said, we don't have to. The dirt doesn't show, and I saw what he was saying, so it became a thing. That's not wearing a dark colors. I liked it because it could blend in with the background. Jerry liked him because he was serious. He could get more mileage out of his stuff. Of everybody, Jerry, you know, he wouldn't bring that many clothes, but his suitcase was always the heaviest of all. And so we used to joke about it. I'd say that, yeah, Jerry in his room at night, he opens his suitcase and sets up a factory to keep making records and everything and doing work all night. Of course, he was full of books usually. He liked to read prodigiously. He could go through a book so quick on a plane flight, he had it read. And, you know, this brings us to move into a beautiful movement. I'm going to show you some pictures of what goes on up here, the love, the amazing thing that the fan base has. And I realized how many of them love what the stories I'm telling them and the lives that it touches. And that is a beautiful thing, a rarity in this world. So do we have a video we can roll right here? I'd like to show everybody.
Everybody's so proud. No, man. I mean, you know, that's when we were as kids, right? But everybody's in such good shape. I can't believe it, man. You know, they're all yoked up and strong.
Strong minded.
I got my army, man.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Where you guys
Oh my
from?
God.
Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, we love you. We listen to you all the time. You're the best storyteller.
There's been so many people from South Carolina and North Carolina here today. I can't believe it. I know we played there a lot, you know, but what a beautiful world. Thing to see coming back.
No. You got me.
Where are you guys from?
Minnesota.
Nice. I tell you, man, I was just talking to people about Minnesota, St. Paul. They were asking me about every kid, man.
After our photo.
Yes, of course.
Yes, after the photo, for sure.
Tipsy, but it's okay.
I'll take it for you guys.
Take it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I told my mother to start working.
We played the music for them when they were little, but the other ones never got it.
I am so grateful. I told you I could not believe it.
Never
I got
give
it.
up, man.
yeah, she loves your radio
I
show,
love
man.
it.
Thank you so much.
I was so looking forward to this hug. You have no idea.
We like the
Oh.
stories.
Are you so
Check
sweet?
the hat she made up.
I just made this hat
She's
2
an
days
artist.
I
ago.
love it. I saw that.
She makes it.
Yeah, I did that
so
2 days
cute.
ago.
Good job.
Thank you.
It's so cool.
She's making tables and stuff now. She's kind of like turning into an
Don't
artist.
let her go, man.
I
Hold on to her. That's valuable.
You were like working the door, dude. It was fucking crazy. And just out of the blue.
You had to go way back for that.
And I was like, well,
Where are you
know,
guys from?
Virginia. Virginia.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that place, man.
Yeah,
we
man.
had so many great shows there.
Oh yeah, Hampton. We're
But,
right
you
next
know,
to
I
Hampton.
always talk about being the luckiest guy in the world.
Oh, yeah,
was,
yeah.
You know, and just to be here with everybody is so beautiful. You know, folks like you, everybody is just so great.
Yeah.
Treating us real good.
Yeah.
We're going over to look at this 420 hotel where they want us to start bringing deadheads over there where they can allow them to smoke weed.
Right.
So we're trying to develop that with them a little bit. But I'll be back here. I'm upstairs in the Dead Company.
The Dead Forever thing? Okay,
In the
yeah.
afternoons. I just
All right.
finished signing autographs all day and doing pictures. But
Awesome.
come see me up there. What's your name again?
Mark, yeah.
But yeah, you know, you see the love and the beauty of our whole nation. I call the Deadhead Nation. They're coming out from every state in the union. They're there with all their love for this band. And I told the guys, I said, I got to be up there with those people. And everybody said, go ahead, love it. Do the radio up there, and got support from Sirius and this thing here that Jeremy and I do to try to reach you guys. This is another way we can communicate, you know. Now here is something to show you. This is a father and daughter, and they were just so beautiful. Their stories, so many generations. It's really incredible to see how this band that we built as young men into this amazing thing and worked so hard. And this, all the guys that worked, most of them are gone now, and each day we lose some. And you know, I feel that I represent so much of what built that. Of course, you wouldn't have a band that goes to a place like the Sphere if you didn't have people that did everything in their heart and soul and gave their lives, their families, so much for this thing. And a lot of them worked so hard, and then they died young and didn't get a chance to enjoy what you call your retirement or anything or whatever in life. They just, Jerry is a good example of that, you know. And there are so many others, so many keyboard players that we had that passed on. Wonderful people. Every single one of them gave everything they had, man, everything. Anyway, so these people here, this is a daughter, and she was so wonderful, and her dad, and they were thinking the stories of the generations jumping back and forth are just amazing that come there. Whole families of people, beautiful things happening everywhere. I believe we might have another little bit of video that we could show here, Jeremy. Do we?
And he's going to his first show tonight.
Beautiful, man.
Media photo. We gotta grab a photo.
I feel like we're old friends, you know?
Carolina people.
I heard the accent already.
Steve, I'm Mike from Seattle. It's so nice to meet you. I haven't seen your podcast and even know about it. I've been going to shows for 40 years.
Good meeting you guys.
Hey, Big Steve. Hey, Jeremy. Nice to meet you. Just wanted to say hello. We made
Mike.
some stickers.
Mike,
Nice to meet you.
where are you guys from?
LA.
Connecticut.
Good.
Yeah. Making our way.
We drove out from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Awesome. I'm from Rachel Beach.
All right, nice. Thank you.
You go to school?
Yeah, I go to NC State.
Yeah, she just transferred there. Yeah, she was in Boulder.
NC State.
Yeah.
Is that North Carolina?
Yeah.
She's from.
Thanks for meeting.
This is Nicole.
Nice to meet you, Steve. We
I'm
listen
John.
to you all the time.
Yeah. You do?
And we always want to call in.
First show, RFK Stadium, 89. They played It Looks Like Rain, and it started raining, and I said, I think I'm like, this is like church. Something in me changed. I have found that everybody connected to the Grateful Dead is so uniquely different, and that's what makes us all alike.
we see it's such a beautiful thing, and all the generations. And there was my friend Charis. She's a good friend of mine, Charis, and that's Mallory. You know, people could think whoever Deadheads are. They were telling me about how it affected their lives. They're younger than I am, but they're friends of mine, and I know them from the cannabis world and from other things that we've met, and they're my friends, you know. And so I had them on there because they bring a brightness and a joy and a sunshine that you must remember. That's what it was all about. We started in the sunshine. Everything was sunshine, LSD and marijuana and these beautiful visions, and people everywhere in the hate were like all these people with the joy of life, joie de vie, you know, the joy of life. You have to have it. Bill would want us to laugh and love and to go on with everything. Not for 1 second would he want Big Steve to fucking be and say sad things. No, we're not going to about him. So many people are brokenhearted in different ways when they lose people, of course. There were people come up to me and tell me, you saved my life because you went through so much with your sufferings in different ways. But when I suffered, I clung to you, man. And that's what it's about. When things happen in life and certain people have the broad shoulders to take them, that's all of us together, man. You are in unity, there is strength. So what we have in the Grateful Dead and the world of it and the Deadheads, whether they be young now or old now, or every generation that I see come to me with their families and kids, that is what we are about. My God, it's so beautiful. And to hear the stories from everybody, each one of you, I listen so proudly to what you tell me. And I tell Bobby, I talk to him about it. I tell him how amazing this is, Bob, what we did, man. As young men, we didn't know this was going to happen, but we never stopped. And we kept going. And the dream, always the dream, to go on further. And thank goodness Jerry was there. And all the guys gave their hearts and souls. And, you know, we all got together and nobody treated their crew like we were treated by the Grateful Dead. They were amazing. And we went farther and past all of our friends. And we knew every band in the Bay Area, every band in the country we started to know. Everybody wanted to know the Grateful Dead too. But we were as famous in a way for what our family was and the crew and what people believed in our communal way of living and how we kept going further and onward. That is the most beautiful thing. Not to mention the people all around us, the strength of the Bay Area, San Francisco as a background, and all the people that made it up. They were so diverse, man. Time before age, you met every kind of person in the world at Grateful Dead shows at Winterland. It was behind the green door, as I've told you so many times, but you met every kind of person who's welcome, except for Bill Graham wouldn't let the police in there. But that was a beautiful thing about Bill. He just said, nobody's going to mess with that. He was the only promoter that wasn't completely mobbed up. And he was a beautiful cat. And so he gave us this thing. And we knew we had a playground to grow up in of safety because of the sacrifices that we knew of. So always remember that. The playground we got was given to us by sacrifice and hard work and American unity. And we knew that. And we lived that way. And to go and stride, as Dylan said to me one time, you guys strode across the country in big boots. And he was right, man. And to get the Grateful Dead's music out, people gave everything they had. Remember that. And you, the generations that come to me, the young people are so beautiful. And I'll talk to them all. They tell me they love the show because of the history they're learning and the different things that we blend together. That's because all of us give to each other to go through life as strong as we can. We owe it to each other. Bill Walton lived like that in pain most of his life because of, sports injuries and constant. And I knew everything about him because we were so close. We first met him in Portland. He was bigger than the piano. You could look out there and see this big guy out there. So what? We all understood who he was. But there's so much we can talk, and we will always remember him. He's part of our lives. He was a beautiful, bright spirit. Never forget, you are a beautiful, bright spirit. And everything in you, as you know, is for the glory of all mankind and womankind, not just for any selfish reasons. Bill was never selfish, neither is anyone in the Grateful Dead ever selfish. Sure, they were human beings and they thought things and they felt things and they had, anger or this or that, but it was always together that we went forward the best, covering each other with each other's backs, no matter if it was the musicians watching us or us watching them. One day, Jerry was at a meeting and he said, it was so crazy, our lives with this party. Everything was such a big party every day. Places like Winterland were full of amazing characters of San Francisco. And there were so many of diverse people. They were all welcome. All the clubs were full of gay men and women, and we knew them all, and they loved us. And that was something that never was a problem with that beautiful scene. There were bikers everywhere too, strong men who'd been through so much and came there with aches and pains, and everybody brought their lives to the shows, and we all hung out everywhere. And there was no hate or any of that. Everyone was welcome. And when I see everybody, I feel this love and what they feel from. I understood that my show has touched some people. That means so much to me. And this right here, this way of talking to you is even another way of communicating that we can see each other. And it brings everything to another level, So you can never forget, and so I'm quick. I know there's a guy here who was asking me a question, so let's put him up here for a minute, Jeremy, and we'll take care of his question right now in front of everybody, and some of these other questions, perhaps too, if we get time. I've got a lot going on right now, helping a lot of stuff and people. We're all in touch.
Hi, Steve. It's Barry from St. Louis, Missouri, and I told you that I'd been a fan since '81, and I just wanted to get your thoughts on the rainy experience at the Mississippi River Festival in Edwardsville.
Well, you see, if you cross America or you hear about American, and we all knew the mighty Mo was Missouri, but the Mississippi was another great old granddad, old man river, man. And, the song was true. He just keeps rolling along. We sang it, man. It was true. He just keeps rolling. No, tired of living, scared of dying. But old man river, he just keeps rolling. So we love the Mississippi River and the history. And Jerry had an idea once that if we could only put it together, so we could play along the Mississippi River, starting up in where it starts way, way up in Minneapolis, and Minnesota, and then it works its way down and grows and becomes this amazing river. And so the idea was to get a barge and play at every place we could. And so we tried so hard with Jerry's band. We thought of it, trying it. We had this dream, and we always wanted to do that, use the river for, like everyone did, as a highway and to play different places. So it didn't work ever. We tried so many different ways, but when it came to Riverport, now here's a beautiful place where you can see it from the place, and of course that day it deluged and rained like it did in the summertime so many times. When you're out there, America is a beautiful wide country. It lives on rain. Everybody in the world lives on rain. It's fresh water, so precious a thing. Remember, there's so little fresh water on the planet. It's salt water. Most of the planet is water. More than 3/4 is water. Very little land. But when of all that, there's only so much fresh water. And so it was so important to us. But anyway, it rained and rained and rained. And so many things happen when it starts raining at a big show. You got to cover things up. You got to watch out. And then you're hoping for some bright moments to come to play. And you go back and forth. Do we do the right thing? People could get hurt in that. But we did the show, and we did it amazingly. And I remember that. Now, I hope that answers your question, my friend. Now, also, when we move on here, what we always have to Here's the sphere, what it looks like inside there. And these are images they put up there when the guys play. I asked Bobby the other day about did he pay attention? Did you see that? He said, we have little monitors. He said, we can see that stuff. But we played with each other like always. Man, this man. So this whole beautiful thing. Here's a beautiful background that shows you, I don't know what else to call it. But that's what it reminds me of. It's incredible. Everything is alive and bright and the sound. See, like a pyramid called Son et Lumiere. Sound and light, sound and light. That was the shows they had. They were rudimental, nothing like this. Here you can be transported. This is one of those places where I come. But there's a beauty to it that is different that's happening right now. Bobby says, the epitome of showbiz, he said, okay, laughing. So everybody's affected by what we do. So you love it. Look at you people out there. It's gorgeous to see. Here's all our lives, everything we did is up there in different places we went, and to see it was amazing. It's stimulating, beautiful to get that. Yep. There's a I call image of the wall of sound at a certain point in time. Yeah. Is that it? Okay, so good. Now here we go. Here's the day of the wall of sound for real. This is a picture out of my collection, a rare one. And here you see way over on my right is Owsley himself, and he and I are discussing this thing that we built with our own two hands. You see it clearly. This is from a strange angle. You don't see everything that goes. And there's Bobby also on the other end, and Jerry right next to me, and he's playing away and trying some shit out. But this was when it was rudimental. You look around, these speakers were just being built, and I can tell you what every single one of them stacks was. But Jerry was standing in a different place than he normally would, I see at this point right here, because each guy had his own full stack of speakers for his amplifier. If you see way over here behind Bobby, you'll see one of the oldest amplifiers we always had. We still had them in the wall of sound even. That's a tie-dye twin reverb that Bobby would listen to some stuff. We were still figuring things out, how to do external link togethers between the guys. So I can talk just about this picture and explain what each speaker did. Because these were before we had, if you see over Owsley's head and over, that's the original kind of things that we tried to recreate for the sound of the vocals. Each one of those speakers was different. Those are bass speakers that we sealed up and back there, and you have to use a bigger speaker, a 14-inch, for the bass of the speaker. So we had this bass and mid-range and high ends to deal with. So you'll see horns that we were trying to figure out where to put them at the time up here above Owsley, and those 5-inch speakers, that was for the mid-range at a time of the vocals. So this reminds me, and what does this tell us? We never give up. We never stop. Always keep moving and changing. It's got to be flexible in life. You got to keep rolling with the punches. All those people there, with there to see this thing and to see what the Grateful Dead were about. We changed constantly. It was never the same. The years we built this thing that took 10 more years to build it. We built every single bit by our own two hands. So when people say, oh, this and that about it, they can talk out their ass all they want, but it was different, man. And it's always going to be different. But as long as I'm here, I'll set it straight to you. because you're my people and I love you. And seeing you like I do, I'll be there every day. I promise you, would be there with you unless something comes up, but try. Tomorrow I'll do radio from there, and I'll love every one of you. When you tell me about the radio, I listen to you. And then the line of people of talking from their hearts to me, they get a chance to talk to me. It means so much to me. So do come down if you're around. The Venetian is so good to us. We have a floor up there at Dead Company. There's other places. And do something else for this. If you like it, let me know. Like it, so I know you liking it. That's the way this works, okay? And, subscribe to it so you'll hear more about it and get messages that we'll send to you. We're just trying to do communication with you because you are the greatest people ever. Your questions right now coming in here mean a lot to me. Let me look at them real quick if I can get to. Question for Big Steve, who handled the historical duties of every show. Numerology of words. Well, that was all of us, man, of course. Reigns in time, victories besides Louis, and ever that. All that stuff was all of us together. As Pigpen named it, McGanahan's Jellyfetty. McGanahan's Jellyfetty was everybody that together created this other creature. So we all, like I said in the famous Long Strange Trip, it was a situation was always the boss. Remember that. Now, I love all you guys so much. Love you too. And Piggly, Lone Piggly and Cub, that's beautiful. And, I put up a thing today on a post on Instagram from our young boy. We all know about him. Those that follow my show, he fights for his life every day. He loves the Grateful Dead with all his heart, as much as any one of you do, as much as anybody I've ever met in my life. But his burden is hard and heavy. But he's not afraid. Look at his eyes in the picture I put up, and you see what he is. But you can see his eyes. He's had to suffer through things that grown men or women can't take. But his love for life, and he clings to it. He asked his mom. She's probably crying right now with us because she's such an amazing woman. His family supports him, and it makes my heart sing. So if you ever think you got a problem, give his heart. Give the millions of children that we know are sick out there in this world, or hurt, or scared. We're here for that. That's what the Grateful Dead is about, my friends. And every one of you is part of that. You give with your hearts. You helped recently for anything. And I will never lead you down the wrong path. Always remember that. You get honesty from me, and here you get it and live in it. And your words, each and every one of you, Louis, and all what you're talking about. Julian the Warrior, stronger than 1,000 bulls. Right on. He is. What courage. Take courage from him, each and every one of you. If you think you're sad or hurt, look in that boy's eyes, man. And then tell me where your hurt is. Tell me where you're scared of. Tell me what fucking bothers you. And tell me if the Grateful Dead means to you like you do every day. I tell you what it means to me when you tell me. 3 type of shows had a much deeper reason for the X Factory. Everybody can say those things, and I understand what their hearts are there in every way. Super sad about Bill. Don't be that sad. He would want you to be happy. His smile lit up a room, always did from the second we met that guy, and it always will. He took care of my mother, man, and all things. Would hold her hand and walk around. She was only 5'2" at his house. We would go visit him. He lived by the zoo in San Diego with his beautiful family, his boys, and our families would mingle together. What lovely memories. Keep the beautiful memories always in your heart. It's important. And fight for everything you believe in. Because that's what we're here for. And never give up, my friends. Never give up, and think of Bill as always there smiling, because he will be. He's there with us. Just as so many others. And I believe that the souls rotate through. You never know who you know, you look in someone's eyes and you might have lived another life with them. They might have been your mother. You might have been your father. You might have been their kid. You might have been their husband. Never forget, we're all so linked together. I could tell you, as I will tell you, the stories of the magic that was around this band and the things we did that no one else did because of our courage and our determination to make the music be given to you people. We gave everything. So many, I could tell you, stories would break your heart in every way. Julian's is a powerful story for us, of course. Send your love to him in your hearts always, because remember, he loves the Grateful Dead as much as anybody. Remember that. Thank you all for listening. You're the greatest people ever. Come see me. I'm there. They've been so nice to us. Let's see a couple more questions I can answer. Good. Maureen O'Brien. Hi, Maureen. Know you very well. You love the Grateful Dead. I know we've given so much. Never forget that. I never forget all we've been through. You saw a lot of it, because we knew you had a good soul. Bless you, Steve. Thank you. Have you ever met Colonel Bruce Hampton? Sure, I knew Colonel Bruce Hampton. We talked all the time. He was an amazing guy. Oh, Parrish, he'd say, you know everything. He'd call me up in the middle of the night. We would talk. There was nobody like Colonel Bruce. He was a great musician. Everybody loved him so much. And he represented so much of the history of music and courage. And he was an actor. He's in Billy Bob Thornton's Sling Blade. You'll see him in there. And he was great in that, man. But that's how he was, like this man with amazing knowledge. And what a great guy, and how much he affected Jimmy Herring, all of us. We talk about him, Warren, you name it, man. So many people who met him loved him so much. He was an amazing guy. He died on stage where he belonged, playing with his hands on a guitar, man. And I cherish every time he'd call me and we'd talk sometimes at night and have these amazing conversations about how deep the universe was and all these things. And he was a true, amazing human being, an inspiration to all of us. Colonel Hampton, yes, I knew him well. And all of you should study and know him. St. Stephen Parish, Helen Bucket. Knocked 3 times on heaven's door. Cool. You got it, pal. There's a lot there. Damn, man. That's far out, man. Great, man. Colonel Bruce. You fucking A right. Colonel Bruce, man. I love that guy. I always will, man. He was a brave man in every way and inspirational musician. What was in Brent's brown bottles? Glycerin. He drank glycerin for his throat when he sang. Those were little glycerin bottles, okay? And so he tried to lubricate his throat a little. Sometimes he would have a rough night the night before. And that was the way Jerry would do it sometimes on records, because it coated your throat and you were able to sing. Got any cool Pigpen stories? Millions of them, man. We could spend a whole show about Pig, and we will, my friends. Don't worry. There's so many stories about Pig, but I'll tell you, I was so honored to be with him. He always trusted me to work on his gear. I was with him the last day of his life. We played chess together, and I brought his B3 up to him with Joe Winslow. We carried it up the steepest driveway in Marin County. I went by it not too long before I came out here to Las Vegas, and I thought about Pig a lot that day. And he told me so much in that last day, but he always was the most jovial, happy guy, man. He looked rough as hell, but his heart was as big as the universe, man. And what a man. He lived the blues. Jerry saw him and Phil saw him. They saw him playing harp on the street, man. In Palo Alto, I'm pretty sure. And he was sitting there. Jerry told me, he said, boy, he blew our minds. He knew everything. He was raised in the blues. His dad had a blues station at a time when you weren't even allowed to listen to that. my father heard the blues, he shut it off. He had names for it that I don't want to repeat right now. He was a good man, but there were certain things that crossed lines and people didn't understand. The blues were complicated, but the Grateful Dead was a blues band, and Pig led the way. So much to talk about him. When he was so sick in Europe, he'd snap right out of it, man. He'd lay on the back of that bus across the back seats, and I'd sit with him and talk. He was green most of the day, and every bump hurt his whole body. But when he got on stage, man, he was sick. That's why Keith was out there to back him up, to play piano, and everybody was covering him in every way we could. But when he got out there, no matter, sang Alligator, or you name it, his songs, Love Light, and he put something to him that nobody touched, man, ever. And the light would hit him, and he came alive as an entertainer. And we'll always miss him in his cowboy hat. And when you roomed with him, the first thing he did was drop his pants off. He had his cowboy boots on, his hat, and he'd sit there and play the guitar for you. I cherish every one of those nights because nobody wanted to room with him because he would play up guitar all night. It was so beautiful. And I would always end up, grab the keys. We all ended up with each other, so you learned everybody's stories living together like we did. And Pigs was a beautiful one. Anyway, that's enough for today. I love you guys so much. We could go on forever. Remember all these beautiful things, and the questions you ask, keep them coming. I keep answering them for you when I can, and I'm loving it. Okay, so remember what you've got and what you're a part of with the Grateful Dead. Each and every one of you owns a piece of it all, man. It's your real estate. It's our real estate together. The stories that I carry around were with me in my heart. Some of them are hard to think about. It's not easy to talk about all this, but I'll always do it for you guys. Your questions are beautiful. Ventura 85, Jerry's service window. What? Jerry had a barbecue ham on rotisserie. Okay, yeah. Get big news. Jerry ate food, man. Okay. He liked all kinds, like we all did. Sometimes he made good choices and sometimes he didn't. But sometimes he was not supposed to eat certain things, but he'd walk by you and you were biting into a cheeseburger. He'd just grab it out of your hand and take a big bite too, because that's the way he was. And we didn't just eat a hamburger. We ate a hamburger. Anyway, that's another story. We'll talk about food. We'll talk about so many things that we've got together. Love you guys. Stay tough, stay right, and come out and see what you want to see in the world, and let the Grateful Dead help you as a guiding light. Thank you, guys. I love you so much. And never give up. I'll talk to you soon. You're the best. Thank you, guys.